What if Hinata was born an Uchiha and Sasuke was born a Hyuga?
Chapter 5. The Deliberation. 3 months later. After the funeral, everyone are recovered and rebuilding the village and fixing so many damages. Naruto have been training alone. After that, he stopped at a Ichiraku ramen. Then the village elders came to see Jiraiya and they told Jiraiya to take on the Hokage position but he declined. But he had an idea. He decides to looking for Tsunade. She could take the Hokage role. So he packed up everything and then looking for Naruto going on a trip to searching Tsunade. Meanwhile Sasuke, Hiashi, Hanabi and the elder Hyuga, grandfather, are discussing that they have reconsidered to Sasuke would be the next heir for taking over the main branch. Hiashi however, he decided he could choose Hanabi Hyuga to take on the role of being the next heir of the main branch. So Hiashi and the elders decided to do a test spar between Sasuke versus Hanabi. Sasuke was shocked to hear what Hiashi, his father, was saying. Hiashi forced to fight off his sister for the position of being the next heir of the Hyuga clan. Sasuke think of something and want to take some time alone with Hanabi. Elsewhere, Hinata was at the roof, sleeping and had a traumatic flashbacks. Memories are haunting her deeply and still had anger and frustration over the death both her mom and dad. Hinata wakes up and throw a kunai at the door and said, "That's enough." From there everything looks practically the same as in canon. The Akatsuki arrived to look for Naruto, then stop by Asuma and Kurenai. Then start attacking. Kakashi arrived, but cast by Itachi's Tsukuyomi. Guy arrives to save the three of them. Then the Akatsuki escapes. Kakashi is down for the count. Hinata arrived at Kakashi's home to see him but every Jonin are here. Then one Jonin told an urgent news that Itachi returns to the village looks for Naruto. Then he did not notice that Hinata was in front of him without noticing and made Hinata shock and drove angry what she have heard. She sprints and find Naruto. She have stopped by at his house and found nothing. She assumes that Naruto left. Then Hinata stops at Ichiraku Ramen and told Tsuki where is Naruto. Tsuki told Hinata that Naruto left and he is out of the village with Jiraiya. Tsuki told Hinata if you wanna find Jiraiya, look for the man with white silver hair and wears a red haori. Hinata nods and so she left and going out of the village. Meanwhile Sasuke was nervous that he could fight against her sister so that Sasuke would be the next heir and that could take over his position to be the next leader of the Hyuga clan so he could surpass his test and challenges. Hanabi told Sasuke that it's alright. It's fine if she ever wanna be herself. So that way she could grow stronger like him one day and wanted to protect the clan and become a shinobi. Sasuke could not decide whether or not he could agree with this, or they both don't have any other choice. So they agree. So they both ready for the challenge for whoever wins the test would definitely be the one to be the next heir and take over the Hyuga clan as leader in the future. And so Sasuke and Hanabi fight. The two of them have been fighting for 10 minutes. Sasuke is doing the vacuum air palm, but Hanabi protected her with her rotation to guard his attack. Then after that, Sasuke was about to unleash his move. He have apparently meditate. Then his skin turned red like he is sunburned. Veins have popped out on his head. Then he have unleashes his true power. Sasuke apparently has had opened the inner gates. You see. During these 3 months after Hiruzen passed away, Sasuke wanted to ask Neji where he could find Might Guy. Sasuke had been training with Might Guy 3 months ago. He have trained to learn the 8 inner gates. Sasuke somehow manages to open the 4th gate. Then finally the 5th gate and then Sasuke uppercut her and going high speed in mid-air and then finishes off with the hidden lotus. Somehow all the Hyugas, Hiashi and the elders have witnessed Sasuke defeating his sister. Neji from afar saw what is happening and he knew that Sasuke messed up, exposing to using the inner gates on his sister. Sasuke realized what have done. He have apologized for what he did but Hiashi stops for a moment. Many Hyugas take her to her room to recover. Seems that Hiashi is very disappointed in Sasuke for learning the inner gate without his consent of his parental vision. Sasuke realized what he did. But Sasuke did the right thing to challenge his sister in combat so he could take his position as the next heir of being the next leader of the main branch. Hiyashi had no choice but to disown Sasuke. He will strip away his role as a prince of the Hyuga clan, he will take away his chances of being the heir for the next leader of the main branch. Sasuke was upset and ashamed for what happened and what he just done. He goes to his room, hid himself, crying in anger. Hanabi, however, is fine and survived Sasuke's attacks. But she is unable to get up. Neji comfort her that it's gonna be fine. Hanabi told Neji, "Where's Sasuke?" Neji replied, He was scolded, and he got upset for using such technique he just did. Hanabi demanded to see him. Neji told her to stay. Hanabi is in grave condition. Hanabi is paralyzed from the waist down. 2 of her legs are numb and could not get up. It is only temporary. She will be on a wheelchair for the whole 1 year. She won't be able to attend to her first day at the academy for now. Sasuke is now very upset. He could face the consequences for using such move, that the Hyuga head is not proud of. Sasuke would not face and see his sister Hanabi on a wheelchair. Hanabi want to talk to him, he avoided her. That really made Hanabi sad to see his older brother feels upset, and depressing. The 2 of them would not get along. Hiyashi announced his decision and the deliberation that after the test and the challenge was a disaster. 2 of his children were not fitting to be the heir and the next head of the Hyuga clan. So, Hiyashi chose Neji to take his place once he is above the aged. Hiyashi will give Neji a peace treaty to be Hiyashi's heir for his leadership. Sasuke was looked down, sad and disappointed. Hanabi feels sorry for her big brother that he did not made him as heir for the leader of the main Hyuga branch. Chapter 6. Hinata vs Itachi. Brother vs sister. Few hours ago, during Sasuke fighting Hanabi for the next heir of the main branch leader, Hinata tries to find Naruto and Jiraiya in a different part of the village outside of the main village of the Leaf, but it's too hard to find them. Itachi, however, tried to lure and cast a genjutsu on Jiraiya to enjoy the time of his life, and then he gave Naruto the keys to the hotel room. Jiraiya enjoys himself to date a random woman. Meanwhile, Hinata was trying to look for them. Naruto answers the door and sees Itachi and Kisame outside of the hotel. Everything plays out the same like in canon, where Itachi beaten up Sasuke and Itachi did the choking by the neck. So Itachi brutally beaten up his own sister. He taunted Hinata and mocks her by calling her weak, useless sister. And said this line to her: "You don't have enough hate." Then Itachi whispers on Hinata's ear, "You never will." Then he drop her. Then Hinata gets up, tried so hard to fight back but not enough strength to fight him. Itachi kept blocking every attack and then hold her left arm and twisted. Naruto, however, tried to help her, but Kisame blocks him, and then Naruto trying to activate his first chakra cloak, but suddenly Kisame took away his chakra using Samahata to absorb his power. Then Kisame swings at Naruto, but Naruto deflect Kisame's Samahata using 2 kunai to protect himself and dodged every of Kisame's attacks. Itachi, however, kept striking Hinata brutally and then ended with a Tsukuyomi, and he made Hinata to relive her nightmares. In actuality, Itachi tried to save Hinata's life and did not want to interfere, or blew his cover up. He is still remained to infiltrate the Akatsuki. Suddenly Jiraiya arrived to save Naruto and Hinata. Then later Jiraiya trapped Kisame and Itachi but managed to escape, retreat to their hideout for the time being and leaving a small portion of his Amaterasu. Jiraiya manages to seal away the Amaterasu. Then everyone are fine, but suddenly Might Guy arrived and purposely kicked Jiraiya. He apologized that he thought it was the Akatsuki who was looking for. Guy was going to pick up Hinata and return her back home. Then Naruto and Jiraiya still continue to look for Tsunade. Chapter 7. Unfinished business. Everything plays out the same as Jiraiya taught Naruto the Rasengan. Elsewhere, Tsunade was at the gambling place to placing her bets. Then she won. Later on she stopped and met up with Orochimaru and Kabuto. Orochimaru negotiates Tsunade a deal that could solve her problem. The deal is that she needs to heal Orochimaru's arms and then he could bring back Dan, her lover, and Naoki, her younger brother. But she could not decide yet, so she could think about it. Jiraiya and Naruto keep searching for her everywhere, but then suddenly, they manage to finally found Tsunade and Shizune at the same bar as they are going to stop to eat. He begged her to come back home, but Tsunade refuses and she trash-talked the Hokage office, and Naruto felt offended. He wants to challenge her. Then she would bet him that if Naruto wins, he would take the necklace, but if she wins, she would not come back home. Everything plays out exactly the same like in canon. Tsunade wanna meet with Orochimaru to heal his arms to revive her brother and lover back to life. But she refuses. She knew it was a trick. Jiraiya, Naruto and Shizune helped her. Naruto succeeded to save Tsunade and manages to learn the Rasengan. Then Orochimaru and Kabuto escapes. Tsunade accepted to come back home and become the fifth Hokage. Tsunade heals Kakashi, and Hinata after they fought Itachi and Kisame. Hinata wakes up. Sakura hugs her that she is gladly fine but she is very disappointed. Deep down she knew she wasn't strong enough, that made Hinata angry even more. Plus, Naruto, her childhood crush have grew stronger and that made Hinata jealous of him, even though she do care for him. Deep down she felt she is still has feeling for him and wanted to be happy, but just wanna be quiet and hid her feelings. She is still want her revenge. Sasuke wanna ask Tsunade with something. Sasuke asked to heal Hanabi, his sister. Sasuke begged to heal his sister's leg and spine so she could walk again. Tsunade nod. But Sasuke told that promise him that do not tell Hanabi that gave her a favor. Hanabi did not wanna be a burden. The process was a success. She can walk again, she can also go to her first day at the academy. Sasuke was happy that his sister is better. Tsunade has coronated as the fifth Hokage. Sasuke however, he wanted Tsunade to teach and train to be a medical nin and want to learn to be stronger and much more strength and abilities. Tsunade cannot decided yet. She will wait for the deliberation. For now, she is busy. Sasuke thanked her and he is off. Tsunade felt that the Hyuga boy has such strength and abilities why he have opened up the 5 inner gates. Tsunade have apparently checked his abilities and then she once talked to my guy and Hiashi on why Sasuke has such power and this young Hyuga tried to capable to beating up his sister during a spar training test. Sasuke is a gifted Hyuga with a heart of gold and wanted to be a medical nin. Perhaps he wanted to be a doctor or an expert scientist or he wanted to be like herself one day or became a master of both ninjutsu, medical ninjutsu and specializes with taijutsu at the same time. Tsunade would accept the offer. Tsunade will talk to both Hiashi and Gai to agree themselves that Sasuke Hyuga would surpasses his gifted knowledge and his skills. He can learn both inner gates, strong fist style, gentle fist and train with Tsunade's own taijutsu style with the immense strength and medical practices.
Stay tuned for more what if stories.